Now you will have the opportunity, do you hear me clearly? To hear from a survivor of the Holocaust, Mr. Serge Haber. Serge was born in Romania in a town called Iași in 1928. In 1947, he left Romania and spent time in refugee camps in Europe. In 1948, at the end of 1948, he went to Cuba and came to Canada in September 1950 to Montreal, and in December 1978 settled in Vancouver. Mr. Haber.
Thank you. First of all, we put up the map to show you what Romania is all about. And if you see, it's Romania to the east has Russia, Ukraine and Soviet Union. To the north has Poland. To the northwest, Czechoslovakia. West, Hungary. Southwest, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, and the Black Sea and the Black Bear. Where you see the pointer is the town of Iași. The city of Iași is and was the second largest city in Romania, with a population of over 300,000 in 1941. Today I think it's closer to 400,000. You can change it. When you're talking about Holocaust, and when you're talking about survivors, you'll probably have been aware that most of the people that came out of the camps had a tattoo number on their arm. There's no number on my hands. That is because I've never been in a concentration camp. During the war, and the time that my story will be part of my presentation, I was in the city of Iași. That was hard to believe, it's 72 years ago. 1941, June the 29th. I was supposed to be a bar mitzvah. Just in case you don't know what a bar mitzvah is, it's a kind of a confirmation which a Jewish boy receives at the age of 13, and a girl at 12 and a half years old. And it means basically that from that moment on, you assume the responsibility of your sins. Until then, all the sins that you have committed are being assumed by the parents. From that moment on, after the age of 13, you assume your own responsibilities for your sins. And June the 29th is of particular importance to me because that morning, Saturday, I was supposed to become a bar mitzvah. It's a big celebration. There are two kinds of celebrations in the Jewish life that are of great importance. One of bar or bar mitzvah, and the other one is a wedding. If my father were alive here today, he would say that the third would be when you get rid of your wife. Joke. My family got up early that morning. We were living in that apartment which is across there, you see, part of several apartments that were enclosed in that area. Around 6 o'clock, suddenly we heard some terrible noises coming from the street. Running, screaming, yelling. Go ahead, go ahead. Don't waste my time. And of course, we are very curious to know what's going on. So very carefully, we look through the lines, moving the curtains a bit to see what's going on. And my story is what happened in the next 3 to 7 days and how and what I witnessed during that period of time. You're quite an adult group, so I can be very open and don't curtail my observations or my words. There were groups of people that were being pushed ahead by several young students, union workers, that were shoving these groups of people, young, old, children, towards a given point. While they were doing that, every one of them had knives, rifle butts, sticks, all kinds of weapons that could maim and kill people. When we saw what's happening, we went from apartment to apartment looking towards Costaki Negri Street, towards Stefan Chalmari Street, to see what's happening. And the story was the same. Hundreds, literally hundreds of people lying on the floor, half dead, some without hands, some without limbs, some with a head completely open. And for 3 days and 3 nights, this onslaught continued. As I was only 13, and perhaps some parents would not allow their children to see the horrors of outside, my father, may he rest in peace, was saying, look, look, see, and remember. And I did look, tears coming down, and I saw, and I remembered, to the point that for me, 72 years later, I still have nightmares the day before, last night, and the day after I speak to a group. Because I really face those moments of terror, time and time again. My story basically ends here because I was the witness.